Shirley and Michael present. We'll ask Michael if he would do the invocation.
Father, thank you for the school district. Thank you for our students and our parents and our staff. I ask you to give us wisdom in all things. We pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one day, under God, one and indivisible.
First item is student recognition. No. Are we good? Okay, good.
Okay, so I only have one of mine that will show up. We had several on the agenda for the year. So did we get to? No. Oh, I missed her. Okay, sorry. For our mid-grade science fair. Ms. Brown talked a little bit about what they did and their competition.
Okay, so this year's science fair was phenomenal. We had 43 participants. It's the most that we've ever had in 7 years that I've been back here. But we had 4 coming last school board meeting, but Thursday, it seems like it was a year ago, right? But 2 could make it back, so we're excited. We have Raylyn, and want to tell them what your experiment was over? Okay, it was a chemical reaction with vinegar and baking soda, right? And then this is Stella, and you want to tell them? Okay, and hers was about testing which type of liquid substance that Skittles dissolve in the most quickly, right? So our variable was the type of liquid. And this was our 4th place winner, and Stella was our 3rd place winner.
Good job.
That's so good.
2nd place Haley, and the 1st was Nevaeh.
Settles.
She's like Stella's on the Stella's. Yeah, Nevaeh.
What did Nevaeh? What was her thing?
I wish I could remember. This was like a long time ago. Do you remember?
I think it was different globulin.
Yeah.
Globulin.
Yeah.
I want to know which liquid makes those skills. So, maybe I'm saying.
Saliva.
Do you remember? Water. Yeah. Water. Yeah.
Because the videos you see on that reel, they put bottles come down and it blow up.
All around. I had a great time though with you guys.
All right.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank y'all for coming. Didn't recognition, you guys are welcome to hang around and y'all can.
The next item is need a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Shirley, second by Farrah. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next, public forum. So anybody that we've got, I think 3 signed up to speak. So in accordance with the district local policy, we will be acknowledging public forum at this time. Please refer to using employee or student names when making your comments. The board is not permitted to respond to any comments made. So That being said, first, Miss Caitlin Wilson.
My name is Caitlin Wilson. I have two children who attend West Hartford, one who is a GT student and one who is autistic, and with that label would be considered by some. At the last board meeting, there were several topics discussed, one of which was trying to find more help for secondary sped. However, the discussion quickly expanded to elementary sped and continued to veer off topic. First, there was a talk of mythical teachers who cannot and should not have to make all the accommodations for the sped kids in Gen Pop. However, it is a teacher's job to have their lessons modified and the students' work modified per the 504s. Not all teachers adhere to this, so then the students struggle in class and become behavioral problems. But is that all their fault, or is that the teacher's fault as well? It should also be noted that a lot of low students have aides that assist so that the teachers don't have to take away from the rest of the class, including the GT or higher level students. My son is one of the students in inclusion. He starts the morning off in sped and then goes to his Gen Pop classroom around 9:30. He stays with his class the rest of the day, except when he is pulled for speech. He has a helper who also assists two other students in the class. He has taught himself how to add, subtract, multiply, and count to 1,000,000. He educated himself on the solar system and can read words like atmosphere, nebula, universe, and tell you all about each. Before starting school year, he knew over 50 words and now can read small books. Okay. He isn't in the SPED program. He is learning something in the Gen Pop classroom and thriving because of inclusion. I know there's some questions that have come across the way it's intended. It happens sometimes, but it does not happen multiple times in a public. A board meeting isn't finished in the brief, but you are here to represent, present information like that. Not use slang words like Lolo and Gen Pop. It was your job as board members to educate yourself on all topics on the agenda before the meeting. You should not have had to ask if children were actually fed or lazy, because you would have already known that they were nerves and tested by multiple individuals. Individuals with very teachers, speech therapists, child psychologists. They're not only tested for placement into the SPED program, but they also have to really the program or if they have met their needs. As board members of a public school, each of you should have knowledge about the program within the school and how they operate. Each one of you felt at your job. My words for the issue was the statement made by Mr. Wells on Facebook, responding to people who watched the meeting and were upset. While I do think the statements that you made were asinine and ignorant, my issue is silently. When the topic is so much in terms like Lolo or questioning of students lazy, students with actual disabilities, not one of you spoke out. You didn't stand up for the students. Your silence spoke volumes. It spoke to the parents of the students you so ignorantly talked about. Sorry. Some of you have family members who have special needs and still you didn't speak up. Some of you have friends that have special needs, or your friends' children have special needs and still you didn't speak up. Each of you that did not speak out and stand up for these kids should be ashamed of your lack of action. Your job as a board member and as a superintendent is to have these kids' best interests, not just the kids in the Gen Pop, but every single child. You didn't, and each of you sitting at this table failed. From your Lolos all the way to your GT kids, they deserve better. And as parents, we don't want your apologies. We want you to do better. We want you to be better because our kids deserve better.
Thank you. Next is Brian Wilson.
So again, I'm here as well as the last meeting. The characterizations of these students as being lazy and Lolos and the assertion that they hold other kids back in Gen Pop were extremely troubling. These remarks not only misrepresent the reality of special education, but they also undermine the hard work and dedication put forth by the teachers who are actually making a difference in these kids' lives, unlike y'all last month. As a parent of one of these Lolo sight patients, I have seen growth in my child beyond what I could have ever imagined. So your comments were not only grossly inaccurate, but it infuriated me to see people who were supposed to be representing my son and this school sit idly and allow the misinformation to continue. In response to that, I plan on coming in here today and handing out personal attacks against each one of you in order for you to feel and understand the anger that could be felt when you have no choice but to sit and listen to all the derogatory remarks about something you are passionate about, and you have no chance to respond. I realize by doing so, that wouldn't help, and it would probably stall progress, and I don't want to do that. So instead of that, I would like to offer words of encouragement. First and foremost, I encourage you, it is y'all that should not be lazy. y'all need to be actively engaging with our classrooms and our teachers, observing firsthand the dedication and the effort of the students and their teachers to fulfill your misconceptions to create a more supportive environment. This involvement also demonstrates to all of us and I encourage you to not be ignorant. It is crucial for you as board to be well informed by research and topics related to the issue. And the overall ignorance that was evident. Preparation allows for and decision making and helps collectively move to a more inclusive and supportive education system. Finally, I encourage us to have a proper excellence is on the agenda. Not there. Striving for excellence is part of y'all's. Our students are teachers who are not only knowledgeable, but empathetic and correct. This board needs to do better in its development. With all of their abilities are given the opportunity what they need to thrive. They need to do better and be better.
Kelly Price.
Good evening. I'm Kelly Price, and I am the lead special education teacher at West Hardin Elementary. Since the last board meeting, I have been sad, angry, disappointed, hurt, and let down. I've thought about what I would say 1,000 times. I could stand here and tell you all the statistics, the numbers, the needs, but those are things you already know. And I realized it was never about my voice. What you need to hear is the very voice you silenced with your words and actions a month ago, the voice of my babies. You have not had the honor and the privilege of knowing my babies. So tonight, in 3 minutes, I will give you a tiny glimpse into who they are, not what they cannot do, but what they can do. And after, I hope the very hearts and minds that sat before us and questions what these local kids bring to the table are changed and enlightened. A 4-year-old cannot speak, but can say I left with a head bump that literally touched her soul. Who now holds my hand every day, waits for the other kids until he can no longer see them, and says bye. He says bye. A 5-year-old who can count to well beyond 1 million, assign place value to 1 million, multiply in his head and tell you the temperature of every planet in the solar system, how many Jupiter has, and is the hottest. His family members each have a planet name. I am lucky enough to now be a part of his universe as a distant star. A 12-year-old who 2 years ago scored the second highest score in his entire grade level on his group star. He's been counted out because he can't control things. A 10-year-old who can repurpose her favorite pair of pants that mom said were trashed and too small into his shirt so that she can keep them. A 10-year-old who I've spent the entire 6 years here at West Hardin with, he came to us with no words. Now he tells the funniest jokes and is a mother hen to all of us. An 8-year-old who sat at the front, in front of a 3rd grade STAR test on a kindergarten reading level. And when the extended response asked why the author wrote this passage, he very confidently looked at me and said, for the test. But he spelled it right, and he did not forget his period at the end. An 8-year-old who struggles to sit still, no exaggeration, for 30 seconds. He reads at a kindergarten level. He sat in front of a 3rd grade STAR test for 1 hour and 48 minutes with no break and gave it everything he had to give it. A 5-year-old who did not speak in August, and today I'm lucky enough to hear my name at least 100 times every day in the sweetest little voice. I could go on for days, and if you ever want to be reminded of the very joy God meant to this world, come find me and I'll give you plenty. But I only had 3 minutes. So I will leave you with this. A 9-year-old. She walked up to my desk a few days after the last meeting and said she wanted to sing me a song. I knew through the tears she brought to my eyes that this was the voice you needed to hear. This is the voice that was never given a chance, and that was silence. Would you walk through fire if her bridge was burning in the name of love? I would, and I will. And I hope after this, you will too.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. I had this song, but it's not connecting. So,
Right, thank you. You want to call
All right, next is, Department report. First, finance.
Our Suburban that was wrecked that we thought was fixable is not fixable after all, and it's been totaled out. Insurance is going to give us $13,599 for it. We've mailed the title to the insurance company. We're just waiting on the money to get to us. And Mr. Heston's going to speak a little bit more, I think, options on that. For grants, we have the TERP, the Texas Emissions Reduction Grant. So it's official. We actually got the grant. We should be getting the money for that in about 5 weeks, and we're going to receive $87,000 per bus. So we're getting a total of $175,644 towards 2 buses, and Mr. Hessman's going to kind of go through that a little bit later too with our options. Kathy received some grant money for equipment in the cafeteria, and she purchased a pass-through cooler. The grant covered half of that, so we had to pay $16,000 up front, but we're going to get $8,000 back. She's then going to take that $8,000 and use that money to purchase a heat booster for the dishwasher that we need. The homeless grants that we have for homeless students, we have been approved to purchase a washer and a dryer for that. We actually need a washer and dryer, and the only hookup is in our special ed classroom. So actually today, Robin purchased those. We'll go pick those up, so they'll have new washer and dryers up there, paid with that grant money. The safety cycle #1 grant. So we did get confirmation we can pay our debt for the fences that we purchased last year and all the upgrades. I've had a little bit of issue the last month logistically logging that into the books. I wasn't sure how to take a loan that we're paying on and take the grant and pay for that. Dr. Heston, the auditor, our grant person that helps us out, and me, we all had a meeting by phone with them, and we've got that figured out. I've just got to actually get the auditor to check the way that I hope that in the thing to make sure it's correct, and so then we should have the money to go ahead and pay off that debt. We started this back in March, and they've given me a payoff, but I emailed him today and talked to the guy today. They're going to give me another payoff so I can get the process done. Hopefully by the next meeting, I can come tell you we're right ahead for that. We started the process for the 24-25 title grant money that we get. I started doing the data collection for them. That's the things they ask about populations, lunch, on that, things like that. Our copy machines, we have replaced those. The old ones were about 3 years old, and they were starting to jam pretty often. And so Canon that we do our contract through, they out and have switched those out. They actually took the old machines today, so hopefully those are properly again. We have scheduled a date for the summer audit, July 9th. So the auditors will be here that day. The month of June, we'll be getting everything pulled that they're requesting audit and look at. Elizabeth with CDL testing, she has started doing the CDL testing. She's completed so far 7 full tests and then 3 retests. I think she actually did another retest since last we were going to have. Word has gotten out to other districts that we're doing this testing here, and we're getting contacted by multiple school districts and their people here to do that. So far, we've gotten about $500 in revenue just from her doing these tests. The best part is she can actually test our own people and get our own people certified here without having to send them somewhere else. Our Lone Star account that we put our money in, our safe investment that we put our money in. So I had no idea about this, but I received an email saying that in 2021 there had been a lawsuit against Lone Star, something to do with fixed pricing and interest rate they did. There was a $300 million settlement on that, and so West Hardin's part that we're getting our portion is $1,416. They're going to deposit straight into the Lone Star account, and I'll leave it there unless we have to pull it out so we can still get that 5.32% interest rate on that money. That's all I have. Questions. I do have something else about the refund I need to talk to you about, but I'll wait till we get to that.
check, $306 for Whataburger. I know we have money.
Yes. So it could have been one of two things. I don't know. It's, I guess we didn't mark it only when we did it. Either we paid it twice, they sent the check back to us, or it's one of those deals where, it got lost in the mail and we had to cancel it and redo it. I'm not sure what it was if she didn't mark it.
$306.
Yeah, no, we have the money. It's just we had a really bad problem with checks being lost in the mail, about the last year. And Gary and I have discussed possibly this summer, kind of transitioning all of our vendors to where we're electronically paying them, so we don't have to write checks, we don't have to cut checks, and we don't have to get lost in the mail, because each time that we do that and I have to cancel the check, it's costing us, well, if I do it myself, I learned it's $15 if I go in the bank and do it. But if you have them do it on the phone, it's $40.
Three laminate sheets at $100. For three, is that for three campus, for two for one campus, one for
I
another?
thought I only bought one laminating machine.
Is it, is it everybody?
Oh, we broke it up. So because everyone uses it in the district, so the library paid for some of it, the elementary paid for some of it, and the high school paid for some of it. Split the cost.
All that together, it was cheer, but there was meal, $416.
Track meet?
I know, but there's nowhere in days out of the eat $416 was good.
I would have to pull the PO. I don't know.
So even though it was a cheerleader, it wouldn't be just the cheerleaders and a few cheerleaders. Track meet or
It'd probably be maybe 2 or 3 events for concession stand, maybe the junior high, the high school track meet.
their cheer probably runs their concession stand like 5 months. And you answered the co-op earlier tonight.
Yeah, and I can pull any of these POs for you to look at. Accurate answers. I still know the cheer without looking at the PO.
Wait, I couldn't see. Almost $5 worth of food for 10 cheerleaders. So that's what we're at.
No.
That's track kids.
They said the track kids, but we paid HD's cheerleaders who probably ran the concession stand. But I still want to pull the PO for you to make sure I'm giving accurate information.
It was the cheerleaders and cheerleaders.
It could have been 2 or 3. 2 meals.
Next, elementary principal.
Okay, so you have a paper copy of my report. I'm reading. Digital copy. The first section is just the enrollment and attendance, and I always give you. Second is the special programs count. On the first one, in March, our special ed numbers were 87. Right now, they're 2. We have 4 more initial R's coming up before school is out. Our end of the year number, especially will be 96, because all 4 of those people qualify. The rest of them, there wasn't a lot of change. Our economically disadvantaged did go down a little bit. That was because we had kids moved out. And we had some kids that no longer qualified. The other numbers, there wasn't a big significant change. The first part on the back side of it, on the second page for y'all, I had someone ask me about the special ed numbers that we talked about before, what disabilities we were serving. So I broke it down by the actual legal categories for special education. Other health impaired, we have 11 students, and you'll see the little asterisk underneath it. OHI can be ADHD, which we have 6 kids that are being serviced under special ed for ADHD. We have 2 medically fragile students, one with epilepsy, we have one with heart stenosis, and that's the shortened version of what the child actually has. His name is like, I don't know, 97 letters long. And then we have one that has a 13 cube chromosome deletion. So those are other students. We have one auditorily impaired student. We have 6 with intellectual disabilities, 5 emotional disturbance, 45 with specific learning disabilities, and the second footnote underneath that gives an explanation. That's all of the various categories that fall under specific learning disability. 19 with speech disability and forward posture. Any questions on any of those? What any of that means or clarification? As far as elementary news goes, Hardin County Retired Teachers Association is making a large number of books donated for our first and second grade students for our summer reading program. We completed STAR testing, map testing is already completed. We have restructured and redesigned our classes schedules for our 24-25 class schedule to better utilize personnel strengths. We've moved some teachers around. We've changed the way some of our programs are working. Spoke with some of our consultants to see how we can strengthen and use what we have, our personnel that we have now and their personal strengths based on what their data shows. So that's actually already complete. So the problems we're facing is, as always, struggling to find and retaining substitutes. We train lots of substitutes and they end up finding jobs other places and stuff like that. The ones that are reliable. We have significant amount of PD lined up for this summer. Some of the things that teachers are going through is data analysis, specific content area of internalization, CPI, classroom management, various other topics. Instructions this upcoming year. Summer reading program will kick off the first week of June and run through July 25th. And the second page or next page you have is the list of our summer activities. I wasn't going to pull it on those when it was already typed up. The only other thing I would add is for the upcoming year, I have one teacher that is retiring. Potentially will hire tonight the replacement for that position. So my staff is fully staffed, or my campus is fully staffed for next year with all but one of them being certified. So we're close to being 100% certified.
From pre-K through 6th grade, it's in be certified. You should that every grade has a certified teacher.
Yes,
That's in
with the exception of one classroom and one grade.
what's the rest of grades.
If I tell you that it's going to reach confidentiality, I mean, I can tell you.
Well, I don't know class. That's what it was. Okay, so.
She's close.
No, I thought you meant that a teacher was leaving. We have one that's leaving.
I have one teacher that's retiring. Her replacement is certified.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yes, her replacement is certified. I have one staff that is not certified, but she's close. She has 3 tests left. But the rest of my campus will be or is already certified. Any other questions?
Thank you. First time there's discussion of transportation. So our fleet, I don't know how many miles we put on our Suburbans every year. It's a lot. We also pull a lot of trailers with our Suburbans. We're trying to transition out of pulling trailers with the Suburbans and transition into an ag truck being used to fill those. To help, because the F-250, the old ag truck, the F-250 is really built for pulling, and those Suburbans just getting hammered over and over and over again. We just want them to last longer, to do what they were intended to do, which is all our youngsters over here, all back over here. So we have one. Obviously, we have one that with the title that will give us 23
$1,000 for it. Towards a new vehicle. And we have, the people mover that y'all approved already coming, that's the 14 passenger plus the driver at 15, and then has a cargo space in the back. We're having it fitted to have a, trailer tow hitch put in for an extra $1,000. And then we can pull a trailer with that people mover, and that does not require a CDL, which requires a 20-hour class like we talked about, which is nice. Koontz is going to be giving us the Sped Co-op is going to be buying us a brand new bus for our partnership in the Sped Co-op. And the Sped bus that's there currently was not purchased with special education funds. So we're going to roll that down to our regular, probably trip fleet, because it's still in really good condition. It's not quite big enough to use for routes, but that bus will be used by coaches or teachers that are taking just a few kids here and there. So that'll be nice. It does have all the lights. We're talking about the Texas Clean, what that means for us. But later on, we're going to talk about Suburban purchase. Urban 9, Ford's C8. And Elizabeth, was there anything that
It's a price.
just the price? Oh, sorry. Ford is about $6,000 less than Suburban. And Silsby can get them to us at $58,000 for a Suburban and about $53,000 for an Expedition. Then there's also the idea of one we could go the same route that we went earlier with a people mover. Those are just $99,000, and those price tags are a little higher. So we have some options. I know that people mover will be really nice. We talked about this already, so you know, cheer, volleyball, basketball, boys, basketball, girls, baseball, softball, speech debate, golf, tennis. Once you advance in track, probably track, all of this, we took a bunch of stuff. That's further. There's a ton of organizations that can use those. And what's nice is you can take the kids plus another driver, and y'all can, the drivers can switch out monitoring and switch out driving. However, the Suburban Expeditions are cheaper. So those are things to think about. You know, we have $23,000 to spend towards a new vehicle. One Suburban already with 90,000 miles is the newest Suburban. So purchasing another vehicle will put us kind of on a rotation. So when it's time to have the next Suburban, the next one should be at about 90 or so. We'll keep rotating them out rather than hitting that where you have to buy two, which is nice. You'll have some options there. Option one would be a new Suburban or Expedition, Expedition. So I wish they still made the excursions selfishly. The next option would be a Suburban. Make our decisions on and for and talk about it. No, I got in contact individually or last week. I don't think I gave you that last time. Both. We have so many in the spring. We have so many events going so many different ways. Although I did have a lot of fun pulling the trailer for one act play. It would be nice to pull the trailer with people. What am I missing?
You did great. I don't think you're missing anything. You explained it well.
This is
I think the Suburban wasn't available until later, right?
Correct.
So the Suburban wasn't available until December, January, and the Ford was available.
September.
Phase out the, like this suburban to expedition type thing.
Some people do, if they do that, what they do is they come back and they get like a car for people to take to professional development. They do like a small, I've seen a lot of schools do like a small 4 or 5 passenger vehicle to take to PDs. So you have a district people take. They're a lot cheaper than they are. Some districts do both. Suburbans and do people movers. I know in the past where I've been, everybody tried to reserve that people mover because it had graphics on it. Everybody wanted it, and then whoever was stuck with the yellow dog was like, "We're gonna have to try to get this for the people mover next time." So I know that the kids like them. And I know that they're a little easier to drive. I just feel like those people movers, they're kind of set up like a bus. They've got so many mirrors that there's none of this anymore. It's all like a school bus. And then they have put in reverse, a little screen pops up on the rear view mirror, so you have a reverse camera. They're nice. You got, 15 kids jumping around because you just want to game. You tell them to be quiet. You're trying to back up. Every now and then you hit a trash can. But for the most part, it keeps you safe. What questions do you guys have about those options?
S, do you want to mention the transmissions on the Suburbans?
Oh, when we were in Austin, I was pulling that trailer, and I had the trailer pushed for sure. But as I would slow down, you could start to feel that mark shift. And I thought, my gosh, we're at 89,800. So I'm not trying to head for a transmission. The new Suburban, 89,000 miles. I feel like it's new because my truck's got a 250,000 miles. Yeah, the only Suburban right now. The Expedition that's out there has about 20 miles on my truck, so we don't like to take that out of town if we don't have to. Yeah, it felt like it was slipping a little bit. Called Elizabeth and told her, so I was like, hey, if we ever have a chance, gotta pull all on board. The only time we have 250 for an ag trip show because we don't have any vehicle that can pull this. So it's obvious. Suburbans as a plan B, but plan A would be that 250 out there. It pulls beautifully. It'll pull without hitch on it. Through the
Pretty able to
yes.
Are there any better on insurance?
Insurance is higher on them. But the thing that that we were looking at descriptions, insurance was higher, but the cargo space in the back was like miniature. I mean, a foot. There was no cargo space. So you think about just a regular they Suburbans, obviously, they don't see that many. They have a ton of cargo space. At the back of those people movers, there is 5 foot behind one of the seats and 3 foot behind the other. And then there's also a cage built in most of them. There's a cage built in so things can't shift around and pivot around.
Do you have a price difference between those? Or?
The van, I didn't check the price. When I saw that the insurance was higher and the cargo space was not. Sorry about that. 99 on the dot. However, if we add graphics and the tow package.
Tow package alone is 12. I don't know about the graphics.
Yeah, we can add the graphics later. We can budget that in and add the graphics. 12,000?
No, 100. I think it's 1257 to be exact.
That's add in a pigtail. I just like drivers here, and we don't have to worry about options. Well, not with the 1,000, we can do three. We can do the other, or both. You know, one. Why? With one people over already that we talked about a few months ago. The purchase of this put us at for trips. Where does that put us, Elizabeth?
In regards to how many vehicles we have, the people mover, the 09 Suburban, the 10, but it's sped only. We have 07 and 06, but 06 has 233,000 miles. Runs great, but we don't want to send it out. 07, I think, has almost 200,000. So it really only gives us Merrifield's truck, the 09 Suburban, which is our newest, the people hauler, and then whatever we buy today or whatever you choose.
You just send out one of the Suburbans.
It depends on who it is. If it's peak, it's going to be both. If it's band, it'll be both. If it's teacher going like it's fed kids, it'll just be the one. Just really, they go out a lot, especially during football season and stuff like that, and they pull trailers a lot, so it's hard on our transmissions.
I think probably 30,000, 25,000 miles.
Oh yes, all day long.
I jumped in the fall and think 60,000 miles. And then I jumped in again. Oh, we're at 90. Yeah, that happened quick. We have such successful kids. They're gone. They're gone a lot. And when they're gone, they're going to Austin, San Antonio, Houston, everywhere else. So you guys have choices. We can just do one today, and then we can do some more research and talk about it in the next couple months.
If we can eliminate having to pull a trailer, can you look into a minivan instead of a Suburban? The prices should be significantly less, and we'll be able to.
I thought about that, but it's gonna seat 80. I mean, so you're looking.
Well, I'm just talking about a people mover. You eliminate Suburban for having to haul stuff. And all the things. Minivan.
I think if we go with a minivan, if you take a group of kids anywhere, you don't have much room for cargo. That's
I mean, we will have people mover, so for any significant amount of it's when we have 4 kids have to go somewhere. Gas is cheaper. Insurance is probably cheaper.
I can look into that stuff and give you all some more ideas next month. In June. Absolutely. I think with the minivan, if we have 2 people movers out, then you have Merrifield gone. You have 2 people movers out. You're stuck with nothing. Really want anything as a plan B. Right. That's what.
Well, I seen a minivan pulling a boat not too long. No.
How heavy is the trailer? They can't. I mean, you have to go packages for videos.
We are loading that. And we've got time. that time, we're hitting it now, so that we have time to make those decisions.
But if we can't get it until December, that's gonna put them, like, we're gonna start school, all the things that happen.
I can tell you though, what give us a little breathing room is May, well, January to May. So if we can limp by, I'm probably gonna pull a little bit with my personal truck. Miss Lantern was gonna pull some with her personal truck to some places. Because Marysville goes to a lot of shows. I know that band is gonna pull to every football game. So we're gonna make it work in the fall. We can live, we can survive till January. I want to get this to you guys and all the information to you as early as possible. So I can, like you said, I can give you all the options. If we will look at minivans, I will give you all the options. But we do have 23,000 that's going to go towards something, and it's not going away. Any other discussions on that? Mike, Elizabeth, I know you guys are open transportation. Stick with that. What's your suggestion?
I want a people hauler in a Suburban. And we already have the people hauler one. I would like a second, and a Suburban would be my great.
I will do all the homework you do. Send it to you all in emails so you'll have it. I'd like for them to see our trip direct.
Oh, I can sign in. You can see. Particularly for me, what stresses me out is during football season.
I'm so sorry. Our trip direct is what we schedule all our trips on. So anybody that needs a trip anywhere, they have to go to Trip Direct, and it puts it on a calendar for us, so we can see exactly where every vehicle is going all the time. So sorry, you probably didn't know that. It's just a computer program.
Okay. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, during football season is both Suburbans are pulling things. They're pulling things for the football boys. They take one, band takes the other. That is a lot of wear and tear on a transmission. If I bought it for personal use, I may use it. I may pull a trailer 5 times a year. These Suburbans are getting their use, and it wears out the transmissions. Just my opinion.
Would it help to, like, I don't know anything about vehicles, so I'm trying, but if we got like a 2,500 or whatever, the bigger vehicle to pull, would that help with the life of it?
It would. I think we also have to train so many different people drive it, so it gets driven so many different ways. And a lot of people don't know to turn that tow button on. And so I don't think they're even thinking to use that. So it's just, they get beat up.
They do have some.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not that much more and it would extend the life of it, that might be worth it.
I will get all the numbers.
And maybe on the trip direct, turn the tow ball on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know she's having a full email, and text, and fax, and everything else, but I think we maybe just put a sticker on the.
I have to couple down. I don't know the weight of the trailer.
Well, the trailer's empty, aren't bad. It's when we start adding
single axle.
Yes.
Do double. So we add, well, it depends on how many instruments this trailer has, or depending on the set. This, Berryfield has a ton of athletic stuff, and that's heavier. Yeah, it's they put a ton of stuff in there, and again, it's because how active our youngsters are, how engaged.
If you don't get something that's made to pull, I'm gonna carry it up.
Yep. So you guys have some decisions. We can table it later on when it comes up, so I can do some more research. I wanted to get this to you guys as soon as possible, so that. Yeah. I can talk to them right to the people. Just because they got put tow hitch on it, don't mean that it's designed to tow what we tow.
I asked that, he said it's rated for that. Unless we are going, I don't remember the number he said. He did give me a number, I can check my emails, but unless we're loading it down, like with Merrifield's cows, we're golden, we're good. They're diesel, yes.
I know that was our, John's point to making the gas, and he said, I do not want that, we got to make sure that these are going, so. That was just a discussion. All right, HVAC concerns, we've got one going out, 11,000. So we've got four more issues. I know Elizabeth told me, and Dwight told me the same thing. They are, they get up here every morning and start praying over those four. They're on their last leg. So we're definitely trying hard to keep those last one going. No, the one that is out is Santos. And the four others are just right throughout. I'm trying to keep, especially the one in the library going. I know that was pretty open. You remember the over the library ceiling? What happens when one of those goes out is it sweats first, and then it sweats in the insulation, and then it ruins the tiles and starts putting water in the lights. And we have to get the dehumidifiers again. So we're doing everything we can to keep those four going as long as we can. I see those going out, especially as we're entering into the hot summer months. I promise I should give you ahead of time.
Are these the numbers for paint or?
I don't know if these are the one for panel or not. Are any of these split units?
No.
Any questions on our HVAC stuff? Okay.
All right, next item is the grant.
So this, I know Elizabeth and Mike have been working on this for a couple of years. And they got all the information into the grant writers the day it opened. We were chosen, which is amazing. So we're going to get 100, and I wrote it down. Tell me though.
175, 644.
175 per vehicle.
No.
No, sorry, for two vehicles. You got it. 175, 644. That's roughly 87, 822 per bus. Now the bus prices, like everything, have risen now to 147,000 a pop. So that would be 50,000 per bus that we would have to pay. Although it is a good bus, it still hurts. But it does cut down the price significantly. That is, it is a blessing to get that grant. I know we've got Miss Carolyn's bus, we call her Smoke Bandit, when she comes in, it's blowing smoke everywhere. We know it's on its last leg, and then there's another bus that John fixes just about every day. Those two buses will go for our worst. And then next year we'll try again because we've got two more that need to go. And it's just a massive discount when we can get it. Is, I mean, we're going to stay on it. After that, we should be good for a bit. Yes. And y'all have access to our transportation list. If you remember the vehicles list, and so all this is on there. But these two older ones are how old?
They're one's a 2000 and one is an 02.
And miled out. Any questions on the Texas Clean School Bus Grant?
We also have the electric buses.
So the electric buses were going
I'm
to
a
be,
fan of it,
no,
but still.
it was gonna be our plan B if we could get this. And we were ready to submit that one. Electric buses, we were gonna, it would have covered them all for free. What we're hearing is they have about the bill to replace all the batteries.
Crazy.
Yeah, when they go out. 80, it was between 60 and 80,000 to replace all those buses. John was giving us all the goods, but it would have bought us 3 to 5 years to get a gas bus. And that was the whole point to buy this time to purchase gas buses. So they ended up getting this one. Which is when we got it.
We'll issue them a PO August, September. At the latest, it would be December. Hopefully August, September, but that's wishing for the best.
Number where we getting our commission for the Texas.
I think we were number 9. I can.
Everybody's watching it as soon as it comes out. So I was really, really pleased that we got.
The next, after that, week.
Well, doom and gloom, any bad questions, don't ask. There's enough doom and gloom going on. I'm not happy with it. There's just a couple of things for you here that went out to the kids. Email packet.
I got it.
Yeah, you got plenty of them too. This is the volleyball schedule for the high school, junior high next year. Already just, this has been posted, just so you look at it. And then this is the high school, junior high football schedule. And just a couple of quick notes here. Going back on something is all that we couldn't have done that with the regional track. Great, it's just gonna get better by our numbers going up. For example, our schedule right there. One thing that I'm just going to show you, just here. This is our roster, actually high school football roster. When I got here, I can take this right here, plus 4 kids. That was it. All sides now. We got 41 players signed up right now. Again, on today, it was 17 when I took the job. So going in the right direction. By our numbers, we should be 3A Division I. By the numbers of the kids participating in the program. A lot of you in here have them in there, so you know what I'm talking about. Boys and girls. I said no doom and gloom. Doom was, I met with 6th graders the other day. In that class. You have some boys. Okay, awesome. Good to meet with you. 6th grade class, 10 boys, 21 girls. 7 boys signed up for athletics, 18 was 21 girls did. So, senior banquet that's coming up on 5/28. We have 3 academic all-state kids that made it. It will be presented, but you'll know who they are at that time. I can't post that information right now. Also that day, during at 2:30 during 8th grade, we'll have our college sessions. So kids going on to the next level, no matter which school that that is. Real important date is May 30th. This is our physical date, our physical year. I don't know how long it's been, but not very many people are coming to schools now to do them. They're having them just in this area, there's just 2 schools, you got a bunch of kids over there. I've partnered with someone, and Coach Pollock was a big part of this. They're coming to our school. Not only are they coming here, but it's free. No charge. So make sure your kids are here on the 30th. Critical. Critical. I talked to mom today. I guess I'm on camera. I can't say what she said. So about her own son, but she knows she's watching, I'm sure. Make sure they're here. It's very important. Very nice of this company to do this. But, if I remember correctly, they're bringing 6 people to do it, so it should be pretty fast. But it is free of charge. June 10th is the first day of the summer strength and conditioning program. The week after school is out, that's the first, that following Monday. On the 10th, that's when the first day of the summer program is. That is in your packet as well with all that information on there. And on August the 3rd is equipment pickup for volleyball and football. High school, not junior high. Junior high is first day of school, which is, I'll get to that here in a minute. And then on August 5th, after that Saturday, that Monday is the first day, 2 days for volleyball. Football is when we'll start. School starts quick, so we're being, for lack of a better word, we're kind of being cheated out of 14 practices, to be honest with you, because we start so quick. We'll be in school on Wednesday. Everybody else will be practicing. They'll be practicing all morning, and we won't be able to make it work in afternoons. And I met with some of the kids already about trying to utilize that first week of the morning and trying to work that out early now, so we can still utilize that to get acclimated. And that's why our summer program is so important. We can hit the ground running and not have to worry about them and their health when we start. Everything else self-explanatory. It's all on your schedules there. Just talking about first game. August 23rd is football, volleyball pictures. That's when we'll do that. So that's already been set. So one different before somebody asked me that question. I don't even want to get into that. That'll doom and gloom. It'll be somebody different. So don't worry about it. It's taken care of. Questions, anybody? Anything?
JV football.
Yes, sir. Right now we're kind of short on line. It'll be hard. It'll be hard. We're short on big boys. It'd be tough to have a JV right now. A lot of those kids wouldn't play if you made them line. To be honest, yeah. If you had to take some of those kids and make them linemen, they wouldn't play because they're not linemen. And to keep our numbers up, I'm not willing. I'm not going to do that for those kids. I'm not saying we're not. Long time putting down in, we'll see. Wait for rain, got to deal with the mud type situation. But, we got them. We had this discussion before. More kids, you know what that means. There you go. More money. Got to have more money to feed them. Got to have more money for helmets. Y'all remember the junior high helmet situation we had when I first came here? That's been rectified. The high school situation right now, we got 39 helmets. I mean, that guy's coming next week for me to wear some high school helmets and shirts and clothes and uniforms as well. Girls basketball, excluding girls basketball and softball, we're getting uniforms across the board for everyone. So we'll
did it all at once. How we can rotate it out? We're gonna rotate them all at once. A couple of years away.
Yes, for y'all. I would not see that happening. You'd have to go by wear and tear situation, case by case basis, my opinion. I don't think it'd be a wise idea to turn around and do this again, but it's a situation right now.
The varsity and JV on volleyball is at 7th and 8th grade on junior high.
As of right now, yes.
How many boys do you have?
High school?
Yeah.
40. And one that's 1 foot in the door right now. He went through everything this year. He just wasn't sure about football. he's going through everything with the morning. I'm really man sort of through.
I do have a question. I don't know how to say it without it being ugly. It may not come out right. I love that all these kids want to participate, but are there any kind of like, obviously it's more money that takes away from other things. Are there any requirements for them to join? Are we just paying for all this for them to join?
They have to go through off-season this semester before their sport to be eligible for the following sport. They can't just have nothing invested and then just show up and say, hey, I want to play.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. They quit 2 weeks after it starts. We had all these helmets that we spent
Correct.
money on and that kind of thing.
The way I explained it to the kids when I first came here, well, I've always explained it. It's easier to quit something when you don't have something invested. And it's kind of like going to your parents and saying, hey, I want to go to the movies. Hey, Dad, nowadays, I mean, I'm going to rat off on myself saying $20, give me $50. Me and my friends are going out. That's easy. And then you go out, you go to the movies, you go get something to eat, no big deal. Hey, I got $10 left. Hey, let's go over and play some putt-putt, no big deal. You go out and work for that money, you're not going to want to let it go. You're going to go to the movie window and they're going to say, hey, that's $33. Netflix looking pretty good. So when you invest in it, it's harder to walk away. If they're going to walk away, they're going to walk away when they're lifting and running and going through all that. When the games start, it's payday. That's hard to walk away. Not saying it doesn't happen,
Right.
but it's minimal.
How did you start? How did you start?
We started with 31 and we ended with 29. And one of those was in. So I it's good. And just one thing I want to touch on is like a senior night on that schedule. And I've spoken with the senior parent. I've done this both ways. And I don't ask my opinion immediately following the season this year, and I gave it to them. And we talked about it again. And they were all fine with that. That way, everybody's still standing upright. Bad has happened, and we get recognized. Kids that you've trained with early. And you don't worry about come district play. District play, you can't move times and all that. It's set. You can't get people over that. But early in the season, it's at your place. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next is the intruder detection audit summary findings. I'm gonna take this for Terry. She did this. So we are partnering with TEA's school safety department. They're creating kind of a larger school safety audit that will do a check in schools. And they're asking people to pilot it. And so I piloted it. And two others in our area did as well. And our local guy for our region came and did a complete in-depth walkthrough for security and safety. And a lot of it was drill peephole here because there's not a way to see out this door. This gate needs the egress bar fixed. It was a lot of little things that made our campus just more safe. So I walked through it with Elizabeth, and she's talking with Dwight, and they're going to wrap all that stuff probably this summer, unless they've already started. Some of it was, hey, this rock right here behind the door, you just drop it, you have a rock here. Just little things like that. We've gone through in depth to look at things. The back door out of the kitchen, our special education room doesn't have a peephole, and then when you walk out that door, there's a gate, there's a fence, and that fence can't be locked. That egress bar again. There's just some really good. There's some really good things that I hadn't even thought of. That is obviously their will. He's a retired police officer that does it, and now works for TEA as a safety audit guy. And so I felt like rather than waiting for them to come around and tell us, I'd like to pilot it. And Mr. Flores, Mr. TEA, came and he did a
really thorough job going through our place. He said that he felt like that we are taking the mandates by TPA and by our governor very seriously. And he commended our school for being a step ahead. He helped us think through things like the emergency call button up in the front office, making that a little bit easier to reach in case of emergency. We did a little bit of quizzing, and he would just randomly quiz one of our employees and put our walkthrough and say, hey, boom, this happens, what do you do? And if they don't know the answer to that, that's us. We've got to fix that. So it's excellent. But our findings were they're through a pilot program, so it's not like bad findings. It's instead findings for them to gauge how strict or how lax or how lenient they want to be when they actually do roll this out and what they're thinking that they're going to do next year. We have come to a working relationship with that entity of team to help form this program all schools safe. I'm just gonna let you know that. That was it.
All right. Next is the local 25 senior trip location approval.
Hear about it, Shoulders here. Yes.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. You want to defer to Charlotte?
We had a class vote, and a parent vote, or parent meeting. It's pretty much all lined out. It is Camp Pinto and the Broncos. And it's relatively inexpensive for us to go. It is a water park type resort. There's a lot to do there, but we'll also be going to, like I said, sort of wherever they want to go other than there. But we want to stay 3 nights, and we got a night for we booked 3 nights. And so the whole trip, the lodging is about $700. We have 4 nights. That's our, right now, we have 26 juniors that qualify. Now, that's not counting the kids that will move in. They have to pay for their way. They just don't get any of the extra money. And each of the cabins have full bathrooms, bedrooms, kitchens, so we can make a lot of meals there. And we'll go grocery shopping once we, no, I'm not taking them grocery shopping. We'll go grocery shopping,
Where they went this year?
No, sir. They went out to Bandera. Not whatever. But the kids were given an option, to vote on this, to suggest anywhere else they want to go. We had our parent meeting, and I sent out a vote, and they could suggest others, and of the 26, 18 voted, and they did 100% for this location.
Somebody want a motion? Motion by Ms. Shirley, second by Michael, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to table the purchase of the new district.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Kara, seconded by Shirley. Vote. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, PEACE certification. President.
It's the standard. It's what
y'all do every year. You're just ratifying the fact that we will choose the TEKS, for the TEA says we have to kind of standards. The board always has to ratify it, and we have to, Tony, you'll have to sign the piece of paper and put your email.
Right.
It's just saying we're gonna teach standards.
You get a motion to approve the TEAC certification as presented.
I'll second.
Motion made by Michael, second by Vera, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next, missed school days waiver for 5/17/2024.
I don't know if you know, it's not the rain the other day, and pretty stinking hard. And we had to miss school that day, so the waiver system requires y'all to have a meeting to approve me to do this waiver, and then I can submit it. Everything's ready to submit. I just need you guys to assess it.
I'll make a motion.
Fair update, Michael, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, the tax refund.
Yes, so, these are the tax refunds that you requested to give back. The majority of these are homestead exemption, but there's one in there I'm sure you have questions about. The large one is a refund for a timber company within our district. The appraisal office made a mistake and overtaxed them. Something with their system automatically removed the exemption that they received. It's been fixed, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. And that refund, instead of us having to cut a check and pay it back, they're just gonna take it out of our future taxes, revenue that comes in, they'll take it out before they give us the revenue. So I just ask that you approve these refund records.
Provide records of that.
My records of what?
That tax. Doing that instead of us cutting them a check.
Yeah, when I get that report every month, it'll say refunds and it'll have the amount on there, what was refunded.
Just look.
Mine's wrong this year, just heads up.
Okay,
I'll be a couple more.
I'll be bringing it to you.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by, Farrell, seconded by Michael, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next, hiring an elementary and secondary care.
So these two are the positions that will be funded out of a grant. So when we hire them, is give them a letter that says you are aware, and they'll sign it, that you're aware that this position is being funded by a grant, and will be on a year-to-year basis, so that if we don't receive that grant the following year, they understand they won't be continuing with our staff. And those two positions, one will go to a high school, secondary to address our special education and its needs, and one will go to our elementary to address their special education. And again, they're grant funded.
I have a question.
Oh,
I guess we have to do something with you.
no.
So the money that we're getting from the grant isn't something we can use for anything else. It has to go for this, right? Is that?
Yeah, when the grant was written, you have so much that you can do by different object codes. There was money put in there to hire positions.
Is it just pairs of some teachers I have there? I have another question. So we don't have enough pairs currently. I just don't understand before. We don't have enough to cover what we need as it is, like, in our pairs we have.
At the district, we don't have to cover all of our spend. We need some help. And I think with our spend numbers rising, on the secondary campus as well. I talked to Ms. Price about it earlier. They're just stretched, they're strapped at the end, and they're struggling to cover them all. We don't want to just cover them. We like to do it justice.
And this counts down the way that every one of our teachers are certified. So what, I mean, Pairs are important. but Definitely important, but if we have a certified teacher for every class, the paras, do we have a para for every class? I mean, we have a lot of paras.
We have paras that help out with our exclusion classes, they help out with our special needs classes. Some of them are, dual roles, so they'll do plus monitoring and,
We also have the, what do you call it, Teresa, the extra, like art, the computer, some of those are in there, special programs.
Technology.
Okay, so, well, I have the inclusion. Without the inclusions and all that is, without a doubt, SPEA needs the paras, but isn't there a lot? It's just like there's a lot of paras that are not. I'm shocked, I'm glad that we have certified teachers, because I was under the impression that we didn't.
we've been working on it throughout the years.
So these, sorry, the new paras, are they gonna be like assigned to the sped department specifically, or only inclusion, like, are they
That's
just kind of open
Mine will be
slavery.
to be in the sped or in
in the gen ed class as well. Sometimes we have kids that have one-on-one parents that have to go to specials with them because they have behavioral needs or emotional needs, and so they have someone with them when they go to music or PE.
And this specific grant is tied back to their TIP plan, is that what it's called? The TIP plan, which is
Targeted improvement plan.
Target Improvement Plan. So the grant money has to be spent, it has to be in their TIP plan in order for the money to be spent for this specific grant.
And the state has to approve our tip.
My only thought was the other day, like, if it could go towards something else that we're already have, since we're struggling with funding, could we just apply there?
It cannot do that.
Can't.
No, they're specific, it has to be a new position, it cannot be something we already have.
We have to write, when we get ready to write or apply for the grant, we have to write exactly what we're going to spend that money on, down to the penny. This amount of number is gonna be used for supplies, this is gonna be used for this, and even our supplies have to go to support whatever they're called levers. And so you have to be able to tie everything directly back to what you're spending that money on versus what you submitted to the state.
Good. Okay, we have to get a motion. Made by Michael, seconded by Farah, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, next, superintendent's ability to hire through August.
So, because I know that you guys love for me to call you up here for emergency meetings all throughout the summer. Normally what we do is give me permission to make that hire for you through August. And then, I just keep you guys updated via email and text and everything else of what we're doing and who we're bringing on board. As of right now, we don't have a lot of openings. We have a high retention rate, which is fantastic. Hopefully. So if and when we need to give somebody a position, what that does, that allows me to give them a contract with your permission, and then they don't, then we don't have to wait a month or 2 or 3 weeks. They have a short contract. That's the importance of it.
I know you got questions.
I was gonna say, and you are the one that's gonna be making the decisions on that, right?
It's only me. It's only me that gets the final blessing. They'll come to me with recommendations the way I come to you with recommendations from August till. Good. Good motion. How about a motion?
All second.
Motion made by Michael, seconded by Farah, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Concludes the, open session. We go into closed session.